all right. King supporting Kings, your main man Marcellus, back with another episode. I got a special guest on this episode. I've known this guy since 1996. You know, it's my brother right here. We met in eighth grade. This is my main man Ray. Say what's up, Ray.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on?
All right, I'm gonna do like I always do, man. Give everybody the intro, the welcome. Yeah. But no, Ray, me and Ray, we've been friends since we were 13 years old, man. Always been a stand-up guy, stand-up brother. We talk about our favorite team, the Washington former Redskins, now Commanders. We both hate that name.
Facts,
You know,
facts.
you see Ray got the Wizards hat on. We both Wizards fans, and just DC sports all the way through and through. So every time something go down with one of our teams, first person blowing up my phone is Ray. I ain't even gotta look at Bleacher Report. I know Ray gonna call.
Hey, that junk come right to my phone, so I get the alert automatically.
Yeah, man. So I can always count on Ray to, keep me in the loop when it comes to our sports teams and, just somebody I, look up to. Even though I'm bigger, he older. So, you know what I mean? But no, Ray, man, I appreciate you coming on here, coming on to the podcast, man, and just talk about different subjects and different things, man. And the one thing that from me to you is that, you know, throughout life, we go through things and whatnot. And, one of the things that you experienced that I haven't been through yet is losing a parent, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and you lost your dad. And, I was even honored, when you asked me to get up and speak, at his going away ceremony,
Yep.
and it's been, man, it's been what, 17 years?
Yeah, yeah. He passed away April 9th, 2006.
Yeah, 2006 or whatever. So it's been 17 years since you lost your dad. And Mr. Ray, he's a stand-up guy. He kept us in line. And that's what I loved about our dynamic of growing up is that my mom loves you, your dad loved me. You knew my
Fact.
parents and vice versa, man. And for your dad to pass, when he passed, I felt like my parent passed. You know what I mean? When
Yeah.
you lost your dad, I was hurt too, and just, for you to allow me to be there as your brother, as your friend, to stand beside you going through that, man, something I'll never forget, man. And I know ultimately when that time comes for me, you'll be there for me as well.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, man. So I always want you to speak to the fact of, losing a parent, man. How have you been getting through it over all these years?
Well, to be honest, man, I just started therapy
Mm,
last year. You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
So that's really been my copingsm
Right.
or help me to get through what I'm going through. And
Right.
like you said, even though he's been gone 17 years, it still feel like a dream.
Mm,
It feel like a dream still to me.
right.
So by me going to therapy, it's helping me, giving me little techniques to help me to, you know,
Right.
get myself together. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's I really say therapy. Therapy really helps, man.
Yeah.
And I tell any and everybody that
Right.
it, there's nothing wrong with going to therapy, man.
Yeah, and that's
Nothing wrong.
one of the things that I've come to realize too, because it's good to have that outlet. As men, we really don't have that outlet. And that's pretty much
Yeah,
the premise of this podcast is that guys really don't talk about what we go through, and
yeah,
we kind of keep it bottled up and bottled inside because we feel like nobody's going to understand, or if we let out those emotions and what we're going through mentally or physically, that you know it make us look weak or vulnerable. And like I know we was raised to be strong, tough,
yeah,
dependable, all those things all the time. So I
yeah,
agree with you is that therapy, and it's been coming to, I don't know, more of the forefront here over the last couple of years is people getting into their mental health and taking care of themselves. And
Mhm.
in a way, that's what this podcast is about: is that people be able to listen to this and feel like, okay, I'm not going through it alone. There's a bunch of things that I'm going through that other people are going through. So I commend you on that, man. It's finally getting therapy and trying to deal with it. And you just opened my eyes to something that I always heard about, but us being so close. man, your dad been gone since '06. You said just now you getting into therapy to deal with, you know,
Mm.
and that's tough, man, because the things I look at in myself, I see in you is that you were named after your dad and your granddad. Y'all said
Yep.
shared the same name, and then
Yep.
I named after my dad. So I know you take pride in having carrying your dad's name on, carrying this legacy on.
Yep. Yep.
The McCormick name or whatnot. So what are some of the things that, and you can share if you don't want to, you don't have to share, but what are some of the things that you learned so far in therapy that's helped you every day in your day to day, as far as coming to thinking about your dad?
Well, it ain't like I'm in not just for my dad,
Right.
but just I'm in therapy for just me as a person. You know what I
Ah,
mean?
okay. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
it's
ain't
part of
just
it.
all about my dad. It's just all around the board. You know what I mean?
Right.
Helping me teaching me how to deal with my siblings. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Teaching me how to deal with just life in general. You know what I mean?
right,
Because and he gives me. He's a black guy. He's from Washington D.C. area, born and raised
right,
as well. You
right.
know what I mean? So he can relate to how I'm feeling. You know what
That's
I
a big
mean?
part of it. Yep.
And that's a big plus. Because at first I had a lady therapist at first. You know what I mean?
Right,
And she was cool. She was cool, down to earth. But if I think I just need that male therapist that
right,
that I can really understand. I think he will
right,
understand me more. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting. But he gives me like little techniques, man. Like one thing that I always do that he tells me when I come home from work,
Mm,
get an hour just to decompress my day. You know what I mean? With
right,
no TV, no nothing.
right.
Just clear my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I haven't did it in a while, but I got to pick back up on it.
right.
Then another thing he tells me in the morning when I get up, I thought I say my prayers. Just take 10 deep breaths. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Before I start my day, man. And that really helps me
right.
because me, I'm driving early in the morning. You know, them people out
Yeah.
here, they be driving crazy.
Yeah.
So me just doing that in the morning, it helps me to not get so upset at the way these people out here are driving. You
Right.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and then for my dad, he told me to get a like a little chest
Hmm.
and put all of my dad favorite stuff in it.
Oh,
So
snap.
I got a bunch of Redskin stuff in it right now.
Yeah.
I need to go out and get a microphone
Right.
so I can put in it. No stuff that he
Yeah.
love to do.
Yeah.
So
Hey, you know what you need to put in that joint?
what?
A picture of that Mazda MPV joint he used to drive. The
Oh
car.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good one. If I can find a picture of one,
Yeah.
I sure enough will put it in there.
Yeah. If I find one, I'll send it to you, man.
Yeah,
You
please
know.
do, please do.
Yeah, man. But I just feel like what you just said as far as connecting with your therapist is a big deal
Hmm.
because I can even see where that failed me in my previous marriages. We would go to couples therapy or marriage counseling and we just wouldn't vibe with the therapist. It's just real important that the person that's helping you get to your stuff mentally that you can see yourself in them. I mean, not to
Yeah.
say you can get somebody that's not like you, because I think that could be helpful too. But I think
Hmm.
when you initially start out seeking help, that the person that you're going to see, you should be able to feel like they relate to you. I think you'll get more out of it. You
Yeah.
know,
Facts.
Another thing that I wanted to get your thoughts on is that people might not know, but you've given your life to helping kids. You used to work on base at the Child Development Center.
Hmm.
Um, the kids nowadays, in my eyes, they're off the chain, off the
Yeah.
chain, off the chain.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and me being in the community, I see a lot of parents aren't looking after their kids or being their kids' friends. What did you see throughout your career when it comes to like the kids of today versus how we came up?
Um, like I said, I've been working with kids for 16 years.
Hmm.
So, me just seeing them grow up and on how we grew up,
Yeah,
it's it's, it's the parenting styles. You know what I mean? You got
yeah,
a lot of these a lot of these kids are having babies at a young age. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I work with military kids, so it
Right,
was a little different than
yeah,
working with the outside daycare. Even though I did outside childcare too,
right,
it's two different ball games. You know what I mean? But on the
Yeah.
military side, you know them kids, they were, you know,
Oh, I
they
know.
were a little rough too.
Yeah.
But you can tell that the parents really, really, not I'm not gonna say all, but
Yeah.
some parents really would get after them. Some
Right.
parents wouldn't. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Now working at the outside day kids, you know them parents, they coming in there head strong. Like he or she did what?
Yeah.
All right, just call me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a different ball game. But you know, military. You form a military.
Yep.
You know these parents are gone away from their kids
Yeah.
for a long period of time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they're
Yep.
not gonna be as be how can I put it? They're not gonna discipline them like a parent that's
Yeah.
always always
Right.
there
Right. Right.
because it's
Right.
like, dang,
Yeah.
I've been gone for the last 6 to 8 months.
Right.
Now I'm coming back, and they telling me that Lord Johnny did this. Do I really want to discipline him? You know what
Right.
I mean?
You got to integrate yourself back into their life before you start getting in their ass again.
Yeah,
You know what
but
I mean? Man.
yeah, it's just two different aspects. But
But see, I was on both sides of it because I had my older kids while I was in the military, and then
hmm
my last two I had when I was outside the military.
yeah,
And with my older kids, it was even with me being there all the time, it was for short bursts of time. So I'll give you an example. I was working 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts.
hmm
So you go do 12 hours, that's just at work. You still got an hour or two before work, an hour or two after work. So you're talking like
yeah,
14, 15-hour days. So I literally only got to see them maybe 3, 4 hours a day for 6 days a
hmm
week. And then the one day I had off, I was asleep trying to catch up because I know I had another 6 days coming. Caused a
hmm
bunch of turmoil at the house or whatever. But
yeah,
with my younger ones now, I'm there all the time. I get to drop them off at daycare. I pick them up at daycare. Even when they was born, I've been there the whole entire time from
mm,
a time standpoint. But some of the parenting things that I do with my kids, it's all the same. It's just that it impacts the little ones more because I'm constantly there versus being gone most of the day and then coming
yeah,
home. So I'm thankful that I've got to see both sides of that,
yeah,
both sides of that. Even and outside of my kids, when it comes to my nieces and nephews, you got nieces and nephews or whatever.
yeah,
Um, I'll be honest, I feel like a failure as an uncle because I'm living here in Florida and they're in North Carolina and Maryland. So,
hmm
you can only do so much through video chat, through phone calls. I got nephews that are about to become young men. One's gonna
hmm
be 18 here in a couple of days, one's
wow,
14. And then I got a nephew that's 10 or 11 now, and I feel like I would have had a better direct impact for them if I was there all the time.
yeah,
What about you and your niece and nephew? Are y'all close? You got a tight relationship?
yeah. I'm my nephew. My nephew is 10.
Wow,
My niece is 16.
crazy.
And I got another niece she's 3.
3? Yeah,
Yeah, she just turned 3 in February. Yeah,
man.
we close. I'm I'm I don't talk to them as often
Right,
like I should,
right,
but my nephew, I'll take him to the barber shop if need be. You know what I mean? I'm
right,
doing little. It's like I do more stuff with him. You know what I
right.
mean? As far
Yeah,
as I'll see him more, him and my little niece,
yeah.
because my older niece doesn't live with me. Doesn't live with
Oh,
my not me, but my sister. She
right, right.
lives with her father.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so I'll talk to her from time to time, but I
man.
mainly see the younger two.
Yeah. And see, that's to me, I mean, I don't have those relationships with them like my uncles and my aunts had with me because I was
hmm
constantly there around them growing up.
Yeah,
But even now, when I reach out and I talk to my nieces and my nephews, they'll go, "Oh, hey, Uncle Kirk," or want to take all the pictures or whatever, and then I'm gone again. But then
yeah,
when I look on social media and I see them going like playing football, basketball, doing plays, um,
yeah,
I got a niece now through Wayne, his daughter's playing baseball and stuff like that. And I'm like, dang, man, I wish I could be there.
yeah.
Um,
That's what's up.
yeah, see, both my nephews, they playing football, right? And
Yeah,
and then I got to come see them play. I just happened to be in town for a funeral,
I
unfortunately.
remember.
Yeah, so I got to pull up and watch them play, and they just balled out that day, and that made me proud because my
Yeah.
sister was like, "Yeah, they play good, but they don't ever play that good." I think it's because they uncle in town, and
Wow.
it just made me pump out my chest or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But what do you think that we could do as men, as uncles, to like better those relationships, keep those relationships going, make them strong?
And just keep the lines of communication open.
Mm,
That's one thing I'm really big on in general. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
Just keeping a line of communication on with everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my, as far as my nephew,
Yeah.
that's the one I really try to focus on. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's hard out here for
Yeah.
us black men.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And he's getting older. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
eventually he gonna start smelling himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know, his dad stay on him, which
Right.
I'm really thankful for. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like just keeping the lines of communication open is
Yeah.
my big.
And see, like you just said with my nephews, man, you know, I know that they're young men coming up in this world, and I know what it's like out here in this world. And
Mhm.
I feel like I can only do so much more from afar other than texting them, "Hey, how you doing?" Because my nephew, he's about to graduate from the school we graduated from, Potomac.
Yeah.
And then my other nephew, he about to start at Potomac next year. So
Wow.
just the ideas, them roaming the same halls that we roamed, playing
Yep.
the same sports that we played and everything. I want different for them. I want them different in the sense that I feel like we were lucky growing up in the neighborhoods we grew up in, seeing the
Mhm.
things that we saw, the things that we went through. These kids aren't built like we are nowadays.
Yeah.
They really aren't. They're more, they're more emotional. They're allowed to be emotionally expressive, more free or whatnot. But at the same time, they're more coddled, more entitled. You know,
Yeah.
um, you know, we got kids that DC going crazy right now. I don't know how many people got shot this weekend, but I
Yeah.
think 10 kids got shot this weekend in DC. A couple people
Mhm.
died or whatever. These kids nowadays, they just shooting to shoot. And sometimes I have the thoughts like, man, I hope my nephew not out here hanging out and something happens, whatever. And I always tell my sister, I'm like, cut their hair. Because, all the kids like growing their hair out now, having the
Yeah.
dreads and all that. I'm like, man, I wish they would just cut his hair because I don't want him to get mistaken identity
Yeah. And
or
it happens. It happens
it
every day, man.
does. It does.
It happened to my brother.
Damn. For real?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
It was on his 18th birthday.
Yeah.
He was coming home, walking down Iverson Street, and the police they stopped him
Right.
because a lady got robbed over there, and they got Iverson Towers,
Yeah.
and they figured he was the person, and they
Wow.
had they flashed the lights on you and all that,
Yeah.
and the lady was like, "Yes, that's him," and they locked him up for it. So my mom and my dad and my aunts, they had to hire him a lawyer.
Yeah.
They hired a private investigator for him.
Dang.
So yeah, man, it was. And after that incident, then he ended up cutting his hair.
See what I'm
But yeah,
saying? Yeah, because
yeah,
every kid that comes into the barber shop or I come across, I always ask them like, why you grow your hair out? And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with growing your hair or just want to express yourself or whatnot. But on the flip
hmm
side, you got to be mindful of society and the real world.
yeah,
Because image is everything, prejudice is everything. People will look at you and they assume that you're one way and you're nothing like that.
hmm
You got kids out here getting straight A's and honor roll and National Honor Society and everything, but because of how they look, they'll get judged. So you got to find a balance between
that's true.
how do I be myself, but still at the same time, get ahead by looking a certain way. You
Yeah,
know?
me and my wife, we went to what is it, like a little poetry event at the
Yeah.
Kennedy Center Saturday,
Right.
and there was a young black guy in there, reading his poem and whatever. He
Mm.
had dreads and all that,
Yeah.
but kind of find out he's a native here in Washington D.C.
Right.
and he go to Princeton.
Crazy.
But
Crazy.
yeah, but if you was to see him,
Yeah.
you would think that he was just
Another street dude.
Another street dude, you know,
Yeah,
dread and all that.
yeah,
But when he spoke, you can tell like, wow,
yep,
it's crazy. But
yeah,
just his hair alone, you would have thought he was, oh
yeah,
yeah, he's just another one.
yeah,
But the brother was real smart, man,
yeah.
real
And
smart
see,
guy.
and that's why every time I see my nephews, I try to give them that wisdom and let them know, hey, it's cool to, you know, grow your hair. It's cool to be who
Yeah.
you are, but you need to be mindful of people are going to judge you based on what you look like, who you
Mm-hmm.
hang around, where you're
Yeah.
at, how you talk, how you dress.
Yeah.
All those things. If you're going to do those things, make sure you're doing them for you and not for someone else. Because
Mm-hmm.
you told me a phrase back when we was kids. You told me a get wit. Remember
Yeah. Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so Raymond, the first person, probably the only person I ever heard say this is that it's called a get wit. Basically, you pretty much get with whatever's going on. So
Yeah.
if people driving a bubble Caprice or a certain car, you'll get with. If
Mm-hmm.
you're a bandwagon, basically like a bandwagon, just doing what everybody else doing instead of being
That's all
yourself.
it is. Yeah.
So I always tell my nephews like, man, don't follow the crowd. Like, be your own individual self or whatever, and you'll get way ahead. You know.
Yeah. Way you get way, way more ahead, man. That's the truth. That's the truth, man. You gotta let them know, man.
Yeah, man.
People,
So
I tell kids nowadays, man, like you said, you gotta watch who you hang with.
right,
Because at the end of the day, if something pops off,
yeah,
y'all doing something that y'all not supposed to,
right,
and one of them get caught,
yeah,
all y'all going down. Ain't none of them holding their water.
right,
So why would you want to put yourself in that predicament? You know what I mean?
exactly.
I tell kids that all the time, man. The best thing is always ask yourself how how would this hurt not just me but my family if I
Mm,
go out and do this? You know what I
right,
mean?
exactly.
You 15, 16 years old. You got a whole life to live. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Why would you want to do something crazy that's gonna not just hurt you but your family?
right. Yeah, that's true, man. Exactly. And then the last thing I want to say, man, we've been friends for a minute, man. Like more than half our lives, man. What do you
Mm.
think is the key to having a successful friendship, brotherhood? Because you're more than a friend, man. You're a brother to me, man. What do you think has been the key to us being friends since '96?
Um, just keeping the lines of communication open. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's like I said. That's the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though you're not here,
Right.
ain't nothing wrong with picking up the phone and just check on each other. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
you always do that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
communication, man.
Yeah. And then I tell my wife all the time because I've been blessed to have great friends. But
Mhm.
besides Wayne, you probably the one of the longest friends I ever had. But
Mhm.
we ain't never had no fight. We ain't never had no falling out. I ain't
Mm-mm.
never been mad at you. I ain't never had to be mad at you, man. Like I said,
Nah.
I got to be there when, your dad passed away. You was there for me when me and Fred got robbed, at gunpoint. you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But,
Yeah.
to me, I think the key to is just being able to tell somebody, how you feel. Like no matter when we talk, whether it be like a week or two, it never go that long anymore. We usually
Yeah.
talk like once a week, if not that. But every time we hang up the phone, the one thing I always say to you is I love you.
Yeah.
And you say the
Right.
same thing back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's something as men we have to do more of. They used to be
Mhm.
frowned upon or looked at to tell another man that you love him. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely true. Cause
for
it's
real.
like, huh?
Yeah,
What do
like
you mean
what?
you love me?
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
for real, because if you ever
Oh, I know.
if you ever been there for me, or I've been there for you, or you met my parents, I met your parents, or we spent time together. I don't care if
Mhm.
it's 2 weeks, 2 months, or whatever. If you
Mhm.
close to me, man, I'm gonna tell you I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think as men, we need to do that more. Just if you know somebody, you care for them, just say, hey, bro, love you, dog. That
Yeah.
way, it's never no second guessing. There's never no doubt in your mind. If something happened to me and I go off this earth tomorrow, you gonna look to yourself and be like, you know what? That was my brother, and he told me he loved me. I know he loved me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
That's a facts.
for sure, man. But
Cause
see,
you got me saying that to more of my friends now. You know what I
bro,
mean?
you got to, man. You got to because tomorrow not promised. You know,
Hmm.
we can get off this thing right now and go to sleep, not wake up in the morning. You know,
Yeah.
and you only get one physical lifetime. You know, and you never want to leave any doubt for the people you care. So that'll be a to wrap this up. That'll be the moral of my story. If you got somebody in your life that you care about and they care about you, always tell them you love them. You know, it takes 2 seconds to just say that. You know, and it lasts a lifetime. You know, yep,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
man.
true.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you Cut for coming on here, Ray, man. And
Anytime,
we probably
anytime.
gotta do this again. I'm pretty sure our wizard's gonna make some more dumb moves. I'm so mad about that. Bradley
About
Bill.
Brad Bill.
Yeah, Bradley Bill getting traded, man. But it is what it is, man. That's the life of being a Washington sports fan. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I'm ready for the Commander season, man, so I
Yeah,
can see
yeah,
what my man Irk gonna do with that offense, man.
yeah. We're gonna see what EB do with the offense, man. But I
Yeah,
appreciate you, man. And thank you for being a brother, being a great friend, a brother to me,
thank you.
man. And I love you, Ray.
I love you too, bro.
All right.
I,
Yeah.
I
All right, Ray. Appreciate you, dog.
all right.
All
Talk to
right.
you.
Later.
All right.